I was telling you, my buddy Thomas, he's a Catholic, and he wanted to name his daughter Christina for obvious reasons, because you can name, guys Christian, Chris, and he's named her Christina, and I'm like, honey, why can't we just name her Jubilee?
I get problem with that. I get you, Yo.
I didn't get it
because he's Jewish. Jubilee.
Oh, that's horrible.
Man, I feel extra stupid.
I feel extra zero. And if you're,
I gotta give a point for that. I give it a point for that.
You get 1,500 figure action points. Matt's out there in Chatland. Matt will be joining us in a little bit. He has sweaty balls and had to take a shower. But joining me tonight is the usual cast of characters. We'll go down the roster. But for anybody watching, welcome to Figure Action. It's Thursday night, one of our favorite nights of the week. And if you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you pop into our live chat where you can be part of the show. We've got an extra spicy episode for y'all tonight with a lot of spicy topics. So we're gonna get into it. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, 1, thank you. 2, if you like what we're doing, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not already, hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to see when we go live with additional content. Again, we come to you live every Thursday night at 9 Eastern Standard Pacific Time. And as I mentioned, usual cast of characters, starting off with Mr. True Starscreamer and his fantastic opening. As he chokes
swear you
on
timed
beer.
that just as I was drinking.
I know. What type of beer is that?
This is a North Carolina local beer from Deep River. It is their watermelon lager, which I absolutely love. It is my favorite summertime brew because it's not super sweet, and it goes down smoother than a fan toy's joints.
Oh, wow! That's why you choked. Do you have to put shock oil into it to enhance it?
Nah. NC beers are awesome. I'm sorry. I love North Carolina beers.
Yeah. I mean, one of the nice perks of being here in Maryland is being like dead center in the East Coast. We get, well, first of all, tap houses are huge in the DMV area, and so we get samplings of beer from literally all over the country. And you guys do it right. But if you're doing barbecue, you have to have good beer.
Exactly.
Not to derail, but have you ever had Melonhead?
Have not.
It's good if you can find it. And
bring me a 6-pack at DFCon.
There you go. Actually, do you guys have 21st Amendment in? Does that make its way down to?
It's North Carolina, man. We talk about every amendment. The First Amendment, definitely the Second Amendment.
All right. Well, 21st Amendment makes a watermelon wheat ale, and it's fantastic. So I'll have to set one aside for you. So
awesome.
All right. Next on the roster, Mr. Joe Crab. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing really good. Pretty excited about this one tonight. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
I missed an episode, and then we all missed an episode. So it's been like 3 weeks for me.
I know. Yeah.
And I think I had about a 3-week dry spell in another area of my life as well, which finally got rectified.
This really is.
According to Twitter.
Yeah.
According
that dry spell has been for a while.
Oh yeah. So, according to Twitter, I have plenty of plastic companions.
Right. You ought to like do like a parody of like for your Twitter icon. It should be like, instead of Intel inside, it should be Incel inside.
Oh.
Technically, we do have a lot of plastic companions.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what would have been like
This camera
super
killing me tonight.
timely? Like we saw like your Figuart Sakura take a shelf dive. right on top of Rainbow Mika.
Oh.
All right, you know him,
Gonna stay?
you love him, hopefully, and you've probably clicked on a few of his videos. T-Man 970, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing spectacular. How is everyone in the audience? I didn't bring my other phone or anything with my laptop, so I can't see the comments, unfortunately.
Wait, didn't you just get a new phone?
No, that's me.
No, that was Dave.
Yeah, that was.
Which is a lot heavier on this phone stand. I went from a Galaxy to a Note.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the memo.
Keeps falling. It's not a 7. They were having a fire sale on those.
Yeah, they were.
They were having a blowout, is what I understand.
Yes. It wasn't, well, that was worse than that Galaxy Fold, which died on arrival before it even came out.
A $2,000 paperweight.
Yes.
I'm one of those heathens with an Apple.
Yeah.
Hey, they value my security, my privacy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And they value your money for when you drop it.
yeah, that's
And
true.
it
Yeah.
instantly shatters.
You know what? I've never had an iPhone shatter on me, and knock on IKEA artificial wood.
Well, now tomorrow you're gonna have to replace it.
No. Don't you wish? Don't you wish that hatred on me, Ricky Bobby?
Are you a case guy or do you go naked?
Yeah. Case and tempered glass.
Okay. See, I don't use a screen protector.
Really?
No. The way I see it, they put so much money in these screens now. They're like hardened glass, and they're not going to scratch unless you unless you drop it or like you have something like a.
Mhm.
It has to be harder than the glass. If it's tempered and it's that hard, nothing's going to scratch it unless it's actually harder than.
I was in that school of thought, and then I would say MagFest 2018. I woke up and I was in a mosh pit for one of the concerts there, and of all things, my phone had like gouges across the my 8 Plus. It had gouges across the screen, and it pissed me off to no end. So when I got the X,
I have the Note 9, and I have a little tiny nick in one of those rounded corners. And I was like, yeah, let me get a case.
Yeah. I like the tempered glass.
My previous phone, between my daughter and my klutziness, the whole screen, the tempered glass was chipped, cracked. It had shards. I had micro cuts in my hands if I didn't hold it right, which is what I am a case guy now.
And how old was it?
Well, it was an 8. I got it when the 8 came out, so now they're on the 10.
All right, it looks like Matt will be joining us. Let me get him in here.
Did anyone ask how you're doing? How are you doing?
No one did. That's why I tried to do like the puppet thing. I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. It is almost Memorial Day weekend, and I'm looking forward to leaving for the ocean for a few days. So that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Anybody off tomorrow?
No, fortunately.
I'm not.
Wild World of Retail, man. This is power. This is a power weekend.
I get off at 2. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Matt's off tomorrow. Actually, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a job. He's always off on Fridays.
Runs Disney.
No, he's one of the people in costumes at Disney. Like you don't see him in pictures.
You don't know which one I am, I am off tomorrow, yes.
So I take it you're doing pretty well.
I'm doing very well.
Did you clean up your act?
You smell so fresh and so clean.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's either a very powerful nose you've got there, or you're closer than I thought.
I am right behind your couch.
I'm kind of afraid to go look, so we'll just leave that up to a mystery. Schrodinger's Joe.
There you go.
Right.
I am fantabulous, yes. Now that I've been invited to the conversation, thank you all.
So, since we know you're doing fantabulous, did you get anything good this week or the previous week? I don't know why I couldn't get those words out.
While I was waiting to join the call, I was looking around trying to remember and think what I got, and I can't come up with the damn thing.
What?
I don't think I got anything.
You are the most mentally healthy out of all.
That is a shame. If that's the case, I am sorry. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I got the Figma Widowmaker. If I talked about that before, then I'm repeating, but that's what I got.
I don't think you previously mentioned that one.
Okay, well,
actually, he did. You just weren't here. You weren't here, Zero.
Oh, then
it's news to you.
It's news to me.
It's news to me.
It's like NBC Thursday. If you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Mm.
And we're going to go with that. If I think of anything else, I'll chime in, but we're going to say that's probably it.
All right. In that case, True Star Screamer, how about you?
My dealer came in, and so my dealer came through, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but because I've only opened 2 of them, but I got the complete X-Men Caliban wave. And if you were checking out my Instagram,
the Taliban wave?
Caliban.
Oh, Caliban.
It's not getting
Caliban.
1,500 figure action points to Joe.
That's why I thought he said Taliban. I was like,
I'm keeping track, so.
Oh, I smell Photoshop coming.
But anyway, right now, I did get a picture of Gambit up last night, and he has to be one of the most camera-friendly Marvel Legends to date. I took some awesome pictures. I should probably throw them on to the Figure Action Podcast Instagram, but they're definitely on the @TrueStarScreamer Instagram. And right now, just messing with Blink, and yeah, I am. This is probably one of their best waves. I got that, and I got the Doctor Doom Iron Man as well. So it's pretty much just been Marvel Legends for me this week.
You didn't get anything from Figworks?
Nope. The import wagon. I've been good on the imports lately. I think the last thing I got was the Storm Collectibles Rugal, and well, I did crack and order all those Street Fighter ones, so those will be coming in the next couple months from Storm Collectibles. Hopefully, we can get them to be our sponsor again, unless Jordan screws it up.
Oh, I can't make any promises. When I feel the need.
Collectibles.
See, it's catchy. We'll come out with the Figure Action Christmas album.
Oh God, that's a thing that could happen. Okay, I'll write it down.
I just realized that this is a toy line that could be very successful. Speaking of the Taliban thing, why don't we have a toy line of like the infamous dictators? Like we could have Osama bin Laden, Hitler, Mussolini.
Actually, they have those already, and they're like 1/6 scale.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Fuck my originality then.
Funko did it for all the presidential candidates. That's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
I like the head options. You could swap out and have a bullet going through some of their brains and whatnot.
That's cool.
We got a Kennedy one?
No.
Too soon?
It's been a while.
How did they kill what's his name? Saddam Hussein.
They hung him.
Yeah, they hung his
ass. He died by war crimes, so he was formally executed.
I think the most brutal death was like Muammar Gaddafi, where they were like literally.
Yeah, Gaddafi. I think was it before then. It was the guys. It was the people from Romania.
Yeah.
But then Gaddafi happened, and that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was vicious.
They were literally raping him in the street.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah. And.
Yeah, your world history brought to you by
all our lighthearted humor.
So, T-Man, what'd you buy this week? Save us.
I bought. What did I buy? I got Overwatch 2-pack Mercy and Farah. I got Marvel Legends Blink.
Said I could have told you to avoid that 2-pack.
Avoid them?
Oh wait, Mercy and Farah. Sorry.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Lovely.
That's the good 2-pack. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I really like them. Oh yeah, I got Mr. Mace Windu finally. I finally found one with good eyes.
Why was it Mr. Mace Windu?
Mr. Mace. I don't know. And I got a Bluetooth boombox. And
can you just talk about that the rest of the show?
And I also got this Astrobot.
I want the Astrobot.
Is that the new one?
No, this is the old one.
Oh, okay.
I thought you wanted the new one, Joe.
I want the one that looks all beat up Whatever that one is. Is that the new one? That's the one I want. The one I can't have because it's sold out everywhere is the one I want.
I think I need to get batteries. Matt didn't leave. I got it from the bot supplier.
I got you covered. I got LR44s. In fact, I still need to get you that thumb drive. I thought about that today.
Shit! I forgot about
that.
And announcement for me. Happiness. I'm finally finished paying off of. No, I might be underneath of all this, but I finally finished paying off the bot supplier.
Holy crap!
Oh wow!
How long will it last?
Yeah.
What is the bot supplier going to do with this windfall of cash?
He might already spent it.
If
you could see, we have a spreadsheet. If you could see how much money has gone from me to him in the past 3 years, it's nuts. But I was like telling him now I can probably afford to put some money to the side for TFCon.
All right.
We'll all be there, right?
We will.
Yep. All of us.
Yep.
All 5 of them.
Told you. Remember, guys, unofficial Figure Action podcast panel at the bar.
I mean, they can invite us up on stage too if they want. I don't give a shit. We'll go.
We have connections.
Do we?
This is true. Roto Man.
Oh yeah.
Man, he forgot about us the minute now.
I actually been seeing, now that he's been on the show, I've been seeing all his posts on Twitter. It's like he's one of the top people I see on Twitter now. And he actually posts stuff that I like.
Nice.
And who didn't tell what they got?
That'd be me.
And me.
Sweet.
And that's right.
You can go first.
Joe, okay, I'll take the opportunity. You'll forget about me anyway.
You won't let us, man.
So, I got what is an interesting Figuarts purchase, because when I first got this guy out of the box, I was unsure of him. And the more and more I messed with him, he's quickly become one of my favorite SH Figuarts to date.
Really?
Really. Not perfect, but there's so much character in this guy, and he's a completely unique mold, and he's got an interesting take on the fighter body. The butterfly joint that they have in here is very unique, especially how far it can come out. And it's a great sculpt. It captures the character. When I first started playing Street Fighter as a kid, Blanco was my main, and it was primarily because we shared the same birthday, and he was, the most unique character in the game.
I thought because he had the easiest power to pull off.
Well, that too. I had a Sega Genesis 3-button controller, and if you ever played Street Fighter on a Sega Genesis with a 3-button controller, you couldn't pause the game. You had to press start to switch between your punches and your kicks.
Oh, Lord.
That was one of the worst gaming interfaces of all gaming history.
Yeah.
And that's why Sega failed.
No, Sega didn't fail. Sega didn't fail in the Genesis days. Sega failed.
Yeah.
Oh God, I could go into.
There's no
bad decision.
I love my Dreamcast. I loved my Dreamcast. Okay, I bought every damn fighting game for that thing.
Yeah, I loved it too.
Let me Billy Mays y'all. That's not all, folks. I was in GameStop and I was picking up. I can't remember what I was picking up, but I had a $10 off coupon, and I got this guy for $12. And this is the vintage. No, it's not the vintage. Is it vintage?
Archive.
The archive, yeah, it's archive.
The 3 1/4 is the vintage stuff.
Yeah. Not a particularly great figure for 2019, but for 2013 when it was originally released, it's pretty nice. It's nice to have a Boba Fett finally.
Are you gonna pick up the Figuarts?
The Figuarts Boba Fett?
Yeah,
probably not. I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Me neither.
And I can't. Like Street Fighter's one thing. Like I love Street Fighter. So it's cool to be able to get build up a roster there. But
sure. And they're taking their sweet ass time, so you got time.
Yeah. And I do love Star Wars, but I don't. It's a tough one. It's like I want to make sure I'm focused in what I'm collecting. I don't want to overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, the week before, and actually, I want to say like this one's. I got this Friday after the show 2 weeks ago, and this is the Perfect Effect Psycho Dragon, and it's their take on Cryotech, and also a gloat piece because I know how much T wants Mega Dragon. And now I have two of them, and he probably has like a voodoo doll of me, hoping that I.
Is it wrong? I still have the original Cryotech.
No, it's not wrong at all.
When you hurt your ankle, you'll know.
At least I know you're starting low.
I have a
He's
question
gonna wait
about
till
Blanca.
20 minutes after the show to stab you right above the thigh.
On Blanca, does he actually have that pimply texture on his forehead, or does it just look like that?
It's
in the
weird.
pictures you
like,
sent, it looked like it had like
when I
some
zoomed
scaly
in,
textures.
it's the paint. Like I zoomed in like super close, and it's where they did like the shading on his face. Because like if you yeah, but if I hold
That's
him up,
awesome shading.
yeah, if I hold him up here, yeah, just zoom in just on me.
You know, you can just go to my Instagram. I got some great shots of his face on there.
Hey, well, so you might as well just show us later.
Yeah, say if you can see it there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It looks way better in photography than it does holding it up to a webcam.
I was about to say, for me, it just looked blurry.
Yeah. And
which might be my internet.
But not least, the Boost Mobile hotspot. Last but not least, Mr. Joe Crab, what did you get this week?
Well, I only got one like actual action figure, I think. Yeah, and that's RoboCop. Been waiting to get a RoboCop for a while, and I finally got a This is the Mafex RoboCop. Original
I cannot wait
RoboCop.
to see your pictures.
So, yeah, I haven't opened them yet. But I've actually been focusing more on like display stuff the past couple weeks. I've been working on my Godzilla Monster Arts displays. So I got a bunch of these little damaged. These are end scale, made by Outland Models. There's various different buildings that are damaged. Little apocalypse-looking cityscape that you can make.
Dang.
Which I like them. These are like really cool. They're not quite the right scale for Monster Arts, but they work. So then I found that there's a game out there called Monster Apocalypse. It's a tabletop game, and in that game you can buy these little building pieces. So I bought some of those, and they're more the right scale as far as like how many floors and at the height that it would be. I totally nerded out, dude. When like I actually went to the point of like measuring figures and figuring out how many meters tall they would be and how tall a story is and how tall a building would be. And I have not found the perfect model, but I've gotten ones that are damn close. And another thing I've been working on. Go ahead.
I was gonna say those model buildings, the first ones. What are those? What was the damage on those? Out of curiosity.
You can get these really super cheap on like AliExpress, anywhere from like, depending on what seller you want to deal with, from like a few dollars to $10.
I'm just saying because I know how they didn't scale with the monsters. I'm wondering how those would scale with those robot spirit Jaegers.
Perfectly, like Gundams and Jaegers, like Ultraman, Ultraman stuff, like all like the little smaller, even like what the hell is it? The shit. There's another scale, or there's another line of Godzillas that's not Monster Arts. No, it's not NECA. There's a Bandai Bandai whatever, Kaiju series or whatever. They would probably work pretty good with this. They're just not really articulated all that well. They're like a vinyl.
The Softy Spirits.
Is that what it is? Softy Spirit? They're like a vinyl thing?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, they would probably work pretty well with this. I figured that
Shoot.
the monster arts are like roughly 1/600 scale, and these are 1/144 scale. So, but
He
whatever.
can't figure out tip at dinner, but he was working out the formula with me the other day.
Oh,
like, just
yeah,
breaking
dude.
it down.
Yeah, man. I even because like I even Googled like what is a story, you know, like
But
how
you
tall a
can't-
story
You
is.
can't move the decimal point 1 over and multiply by 2.
Too,
No, it's complicated. So another thing I've been working on recently is I kind of got this like during my dry spell. I'm kind of like George Costanza. When he went through his dry spell, he got like really super intelligent and like he was a genius, and he was like figuring out all kinds of fucking formulas to the mystery of life and shit. Me, I just started getting like all arts and crafty. So I decided to make my own energon cubes, and I started off with the MP Soundwave, the clear plastic cubes that they sell, and filled it with a glow in the dark pink resin.
Nice.
And it kind of turned out all right. It kind of pulled away from the edges a little bit and didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it. So then I just did a straight pure cast, and this looks a little bit better. It needs to be sanded down, but it doesn't have that like clear plastic shell around it.
I think that looks better.
Yeah, well, it definitely, and like the edges came out a lot cleaner. Like this one on here, if you really looked at it up close, you can see where like the edges pulled away, and it's got like air bubbles in it. Whereas
Is
this,
it squishy?
no, they're hard. They're that's just like any toy plastic that you work with.
Make a couple of those in blue, and you just made yourself some Tesseracts.
Yeah. You put a little LED in there.
Yeah, that's actually, I saw that video on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen that, where the dude makes a little light up Tesseract, and he shows you how to like the resin that he uses is the same stuff that I used for this stuff. It's just a 2-part epoxy resin. It's real easy. It's a even 1-to-1 ratio mixture. And you just all you gotta do is you gotta make your mold. Which for these, all I did was I used like thick cardstock, which wasn't the best idea because it like sticks to it. But you should probably use like a plastic material. But it turned out all right. You can't tell on the webcam how like the sides are not perfectly straight. It's not perfectly square and all that, but I can sand it down and it'll look pretty good. Polish it up maybe. That's even if I care anymore. I mean, I'm done. I think I'm so done with like getting resin stuck all over my fingers that I'm like it's starting to wear off. Like the fun is starting to wear off. It's old news now.
I just read in the chat Nate Simmons was in Iraq when they hung Saddam.
What?
Yeah, I had to ask him like, what the hell. Well, save it for another, an off there. Then I'm curious what that was like at the time.
In my mind, I'm picturing Nate Simmons as the guy in the back of the room when they were hanging him, where they were just like, "You can do it."
All right, man. I'm just gonna hoist him up here. They sent Saddam's body. Nate was the one that wrapped it in bubble wrap, and that's why he's so good at packing.
Oh.
Well, at least we know
Can
he
we
got
get
there
any
in
more
one piece.
controversial on this show tonight, guys?
We can.
Yes, we
because
can.
We've got topics. Let's get the soft one out of the way before we get to the hard one.
Wait a minute, that could go either way.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what we're talking about.
So there
Yeah.
are new pictures out of MP46, and
yeah.
I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. Let me get those up. They're in the dock, but I'm not gonna just like blow the dock up for everybody to see our text.
Our
everywhere.
secret information.
Yeah, our
Ooh.
secret sauce. So, good grief! I need to start just putting URLs in here all the time.
I did that for some of them.
So, yeah, shots came out of Black
Some guy messing
Arachnia
with it. Oh, yes.
next to Megatron, and
She scales about waist high.
yeah.
It
She's
looks
gonna
like
be
a
a neat little-
spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's additional pictures of the beast mode too.
How are we
And I think it
feeling
is
about
confirmed-
the beast mode?
It's no worse than Cheetor. I'm gonna go on record saying that.
It's a good
Or
standard.
Optimus Primal, as long as you look at it directly from one angle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with the Beast Wars right now, there's only been 2 near perfect ones, and that was both Dinobot and Megatron. All the other masterpieces you've been having to take it with a grain of salt, and just accept that there's going to be visible kibble.
Yeah. They're pretty much masterpiece Beast Wars.
And I'll be honest, not with the exception, most of the time, I mean, you look at your display shelf, you're going to be posting them in bot mode.
True.
I think
Except for Megatron.
Beast Wars is not one of those figures. It's not one of those lines where you buy one for the robot mode, buy one for the alt mode for your display. I think that one should just pretty much be.
I'm sure there's no shortage of folks out there doing that.
Yeah.
And Takara loves them.
Well, fortunately, our friends at Stasis Lock were kind enough to post the photos, so I'm going to go ahead and share what they posted on their Facebook page. Check them out. Stasis Lock is on YouTube, and they have a Facebook page. So here we go. There she is, scaled next to Megatron.
Yeah.
And I think this looks really damn good. If not, it's as Ben Davidson would say, it is nigh on perfect.
I'd love to recreate that picture.
But what we get to here, that's actually fairly interesting. And let me see if I can just expand this.
She's honestly taller than I
All the
thought.
way. Here we are. See if I can zoom in a bit more. It doesn't appear. So there's pictures of the beast mode there, right? And it really doesn't look too terrible, save for the fact that there's gold kibble on the abdomen of the spider, and it's noticeable. But when you look at the figure from the back, the fact is it doesn't have any kibble, and it's not doing any parts forming that we know of. No offense to parts formers out there.
None taken.
But looking at this, I don't think the figure has a waist.
Yeah, it looks like she has one of these. The sideways tilt, but no rotation.
Yeah. Because it's like you can tell in this picture here where she's holding the crossbow that they're kind of faking it. Same thing where she has the goggles on, they're kind of faking it, and the transformation doesn't really seem like unless they snuck a ball joint in there. It doesn't seem like they've engineered or were capable of engineering a waist in there. Not a deal breaker for me.
I mean, my favorite Black Arachnia was always the Beast Machines figure.
Mm-hmm.
If you have never put your hands on that, Beast Machines it did not have some of the best figures out there. Don't get me wrong. Like the Silverbolt, like the Megatron. But that Black Arachnia figure was freaking Transformer magic. If you ever see that, if you've ever gotten your hands on it.
Back in the day, it was really cool from an engineering perspective how those legs came together.
Exactly. I'm looking to see if I have mine on hand.
And the gimmick she had.
The animated one was cool, but that Beast Machines one was just freaking plastic wizardry.
Reminds me, I need to sell my Transformers Legends Black Arachnia now that this is coming out. Which is based off of the animated Black Arachnia, but with a Beast Wars.
I'm looking at mine over there. I'm looking at mine. I still actually, again, that was also another good piece of engineering, but I like how that looks though in that spiderweb display.
Yeah, I really like that.
That is a good accessory.
Yeah. I could deal without having like the two crossbows, or the two crossbow arrows. Because one's just on it's just on a piece of string.
Is this one actually going to come with that stand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's actually worth it.
Yeah.
He comes with more than Bumblebee, and they're about the same price.
Yeah. So anybody that pre-ordered on Amazon Japan and got locked into the price, she's dropped down to, I believe, 105 shipped, which is a lot better than the 150 she's going for on places like Entertainment Earth and. Yeah, I know.
She's also on Hasbro Pulse, by the way. I didn't know they were going to sell Masterpiece figures.
Yeah,
they put Bumblebee
Cheetor was
in,
how much when he came out? When
80.
Cheetor first came out, $80.
No, you said I got him for 60.
Okay. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's there. I know the accessory count's there, but I just could not for a figure that size.
Even 100? Not even 400?
That would be an $80. That would be an $80 tops figure. That's just because of the display stand.
It's freaking Black Arachnia. So,
it's freaking making up for not having the Pokemon license.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I brought this guy out for a later discussion, but I mean, he's the same price she is at retail, and this thing has a huge parts count, 2 light up heads, a ton of accessories, and
die cast.
Yeah.
Well, Matt and I were talking about this over the weekend. The third-party stuff, they have too many advantages when it comes to pricing. They don't have nearly the overhead. They don't have nearly the amount of R&D.
Yeah, but you got that whole thing of, your factory might shut down on you and,
Yeah.
What? That would never happen.
Yeah. I think they're also not trying to turn the profit margins that Takara is. It's hard to say, It's like they know that when they release these things, they're going to sell out. There's a dedicated fan base. They know what they're doing with the pricing, and it's unfortunate that we're taking the brunt of it. But their experiment was, well, if we jack up the prices, will people still pay for it?
What will they tolerate? Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a breaking point.
Can't you still get those Takara Tomy Mall Seekers everywhere?
Yeah, BBTS for like under $90 now.
I jumped on them because when I heard exclusive, I thought that they would be hard to get.
It's my Noble Young. He posted spider scaredy face pass. I've seen a few people on Twitter that they're like, I'm arachnophobic, I can't get this, and I'm like, that's an interesting reason to pass.
I guess it's a good reason. Just don't make her a spider. She comes in spider mode, so never mind.
I know someone. I work with somebody that has a completely irrational fear of spiders, and she would not be scared by the alt mode of this toy.
Lex is afraid of spiders, so I'm curious how that's going to play out when I get this figure.
But spiders are so helpful.
Don't make her throw it against the wall.
Really.
Like, stay out in my basement. All right. Next up on our list, a less spicy. I'm saving that. I'm building anticipation. We're going from spice to sweet. And man, oh man, am I excited for this. My cousin got me the movie Turtles for my birthday, and he keeps forgetting to send them my way. So Tyler, if you're watching this, send my fucking Turtles. Because now that these are coming out, I need those Turtles more than ever. This is the NECA 1/12 scale movie Shredder, Foot Soldiers, and Splinter. What do you guys think of this? Because I think it looks fantastic.
This makes me more happy than Robo Titties.
But just barely. So my question is, I know that they've showed the Shredder and the Foot Soldiers at the larger scale. Have we ever seen the Splinter at the larger scale?
I don't believe we have.
I don't believe we have either. So this is brand new just for the... What was it? What was the other scale in the larger Turtles? It's
quarter
scale.
Quarter scale. We never saw a quarter scale Splinter, so that's interesting. And look at it looks like you get repeats of all the Turtles' weapons, if I'm looking at that right.
I mean,
that's not a problem.
New. Yeah.
The axe is new.
Yeah,
No, there's some new weapons in there.
No, I know,
there.
but in addition to, you also get repeats of all the turtles' weapons.
They get the weapons from Ninja RS.
I like that you even get like the cuffs and the box for Splinter.
Yeah.
We see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking of what happened with the SDC set turtles from a couple years ago. That these will probably eventually show up to GameStop. Not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, what are we not going to get for GameStop? And I'm thinking we are not going to get that weapons rack.
No.
The box.
And probably a third less of those, and probably a couple less of those weapons.
Yeah.
And the
Wait, how
packaging
big is
box.
that?
So,
that box. That's big enough to fit Splinter in.
He should be propped up on it. If I remember,
He'll stand on it.
he stands on it.
Well, maybe
But I'm
that's
just-
his only accessory.
That box is probably in scale with the figures right there in that picture.
But so what I'm saying is because when the turtles got re-released, a lot of collectors were butthurt because I bought the SDCC one, now it's not worthless. I'm thinking this is going to get released. NECA knows they'll be making money with it, but I'm definitely thinking though, even if you're not able to get this, you're going to be missing out on a lot of those accessories, and I think those accessories are going to be that little extra icing on the cake to make it worthwhile.
I don't know if they'll release them individually though at GameStop. They're gonna have to do some kind of 2-packs because if they do, I don't know. They would still sell the foot soldiers because people will probably want to army build with them.
Oh God, as I
Yeah.
said, that's printing
Can we
freaking
get
money.
one?
Yeah.
Everybody wants
I
all
was-
of them.
Yeah, I changed my mind mid thought. I was gonna say like maybe do a soldier and shredder and then a soldier and Splinter, but
No, and
No, you're
everybody
right.
who bought and everybody who bought all 4 turtles are going to need that Splinter.
Yeah.
Can we get a Sam Rockwell head for one of those foot soldiers?
I keep forgetting.
Was he ever in the outfit? He was just
I-
in the warehouse. I don't think he ever wore on screen the foot
I don't
soldier
think-
outfit.
I
I thought
don't
he was
think he
just with
did.
the kids.
I think they had a different random douchebag as the dude that was in the outfit with this mask off.
Oh, they got to have the police the head the editor's son, April's boss, his son,
Danny?
was one of the foot soldiers. Danny, yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Man, our buddy Matthew Baldwin is saltier than turtle soup because he says "fuck the turtles." How can you say
Oh,
"fuck the turtles"?
that's horrible.
Look, Baldwin, if they make legend scale turtles, we'll point them your way. Until then, just deal with it.
He's probably like, I'm gonna throw some straws into the ocean to take care of those motherfuckers.
Oh man.
Find
A
all these
legend
6
scale
packs
turtle
and throwing
van.
the rings in. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Matthew Baldwin's a jerk to ocean life. That's right. I said it.
I love that we're just running away with these assumptions. You know what? Speaking of that, I actually do cut the rings on the 6-pack thing.
Yeah,
So
so
do
do
I.
I.
So do I.
Yeah.
I drink out of bottles like a civilized human.
I don't.
Hey, you don't drink.
He's like, fuck him. Come on.
No, I put out soda every day at work, and I just throw the rings in the trash.
Oh, they come
Yeah,
with
but
rings?
you're hoping to kill more rats, though. You're in the middle of the
right.
city, man. You got those friggin' rats you can ride to work on.
Yeah.
Man, I
And
remember.
whatever's floating in the harbor.
That's right. I was getting ready to say, why do you even throw it in the trash? You can just walk over to the harbor and just toss it in there.
Matt followed
It's
up
just
with
too
"fuck
much
the
trash
ocean."
in there. Literally, or
Yeah, is that literal? Do you just like getting there like, hey everybody?
Anyway, are we
You'll
gonna be
never
talking?
go in the water again.
I think we gotta spice this up.
Spice it up.
Oh, you want to?
Alright.
I had one other semi-safe topic before we hit that.
All right.
Oh, God, the cock teasing. Come on, guys. Jesus.
Hey,
I got
this
you
is the one
covered.
that you gave half a fuck about. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
I'm not sure how many people are, familiar with Can of Beams.
I am.
I mean, I'm familiar with them.
I've got some can of beams around here somewhere.
Wishes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean the
there
guy does. The guy actually does a lot. He's a one-man show, and he does a lot of awesome custom
that-
third-party accessories.
When you say
did-
when you say one man show, I was gonna be like,
No.
go on.
but he, like, for example, he'd still make, and I would kill to get my hands on one of the neatest After Effects, which is the Cyclops laser blast. But
that could be part of this topic too, by the way.
Yeah, possibly. But apparently what happened is Storm Collectibles the other day released this picture of an axe covered with blood effects. And he is alleging, and he does have some nice photographic proof on his Facebook site, that they copied off one of his designs. He made a like a 3 or 4 pack of blood splatters, and it looks like they took his exact designs, fused them together, and Storm Collectibles is using it as one of their effect parts.
So, is he saying Storm Collectibles suck my dick?
Pretty much.
Is no intellectual property theft?
I gotta look this up. Are they looking to package those effects with the figure, or did they just take a promotional shot of, hey, here's some blood splattering?
With Storm Collectibles, I want to say that they're an effect part.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows yet. He's waiting to get into contact with them from the last I heard.
He's I did reach out to him. He's waiting to let things blow over. He just kind of did his postings to kind of get it out of his system, and he's just going to kind of let the rest abide. He's not going to be like a total, where's my money jerks type of thing, which is very cool.
I like it to do like a Stewie.
Exactly. He's not going to be that guy, which is I have to respect him on that one.
Nate
and they'll probably be like, yes, screw off.
Nate commented, and this is a good point, that he didn't patent those effects, so he doesn't really have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, that's what my view was. It's still shitty of them to do.
Yeah.
But they can do it, and
it's kind of like the toy version of those Fortnite dance lawsuits.
All this is a tease. Yeah. This is a tease picture. That's all it is a tease. So there's nothing here saying that you're getting this effect part with a particular figure. It's literally just a anonymous axe with blood on it. And there isn't even a description. There's no text to it.
They could have at least added them on Instagram. At Can of Beams. If that's really his design.
Well,
it is weird though, because they've made all their other effects. But at least as far as we know, they're original.
Mm-hmm. The one
thing though
is they could say it's a coincidence.
But this isn't the first time either for him. That's why I brought up when you said the Cyclops effect. He's pointed this out before, that another company stole the Cyclops effect, the blast effect.
Well,
maybe.
Fairness,
I can't remember.
I think it was, you guys remember Jin Satome's Customs? Because he showed how to make those effects, if I remember correctly. Because it was pretty easy to do it. You just take like a sheet of wax paper and like spread it out. So like the Cyclops effects were, anybody could make them. But in the case of like the effects pieces that Dave was talking about, they're a lot more elaborate. And this is really a case where I think that ultimately you'll see if the community gets behind it and says, hey, give this man his credit where credit's due.
Who's in Baltimore?
That would be T. If we go back,
I don't even hear it no more. Sorry.
We go back and look at like those beasts, the G1 styled beasts that they did. Like they did an Optimus Primal, and they did a Hot Rod, and the side swipe that's in limbo that turns into a bull. Those designs were basically lifted from a book. I mean, there's just, in the toy industry, there's especially the third-party toy industry and the collectors industries, there's a lot of just, hey, you gotta
I
ideas.
was going to say the whole third-party market.
We're starting to see
third-party market.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some third-party designs in official figures too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, this would be I know this is just like an effect part, but in some ways. Imagine, their Takara is liquidating all these old Seeker molds, and all of a sudden the new Seeker mold comes out, and oh my gosh, it's Make Toys Howling Meteor.
Yeah, and they could do that. There's nothing stopping them.
And charge $250 for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. They might change one or two
They'd
things.
probably give him a better head
Yeah.
and give him like 40.
We've
Japanese-
talked about.
do? Sue us?
Yeah, we've talked about
Pretty
this
much.
before. They've already ripped off the intellectual property of another company, so it's not like they can say, "Oh, you stole our design that we stole of your character."
But like
Even
these can
Hasbro's been
beams is-
using those original GoBots designs. They put some of those designs in their toys, and they don't really technically belong to Takara. Told me.
GoBots?
Dirty thieves.
I just want to get like
Yeah.
the Danish Starscream.
Oh, yeah.
Like
He
it's
found
Is
voice
this a
Voice-
work.
Starscream that actually turns into a pastry, or is it
No.
something like from the country?
A few days ago, somebody released like the Danish dub. Like apparently, one of the Transformers DVDs had like the Danish dub on it. And Starscream sounded so doofy, and just
Yeah.
talking about how they like. I made the mention that like they come out with a new Starscream, you're probably gonna have like 40 clips of the Japanese actor. But I just like to hit a button like flirting, Megatron.
And that's exactly what it sounded like.
I
Can we
It's not
explore the
Chris-
idea of a
it's not
Starscream that
Chris-
actually turns into a Danish?
We could.
Like
It-
pastry?
We
Does
could.
he have racing stripes?
We could.
Why would a Danish have?
Wait, no, don't stifle his creativity. Let's hear some more.
Like
Can we
blue
talk
and,
about Robo
blue and
Titties
red
now?
Iceland.
PKO podcast, right? Then it broke into
Yeah.
Rock of Ages. That was like the beginning of Rock of Ages. Flirkin.
That's
let's-
ungleben Laden Loden.
Oh, I'm sorry you have a loud
What?
load.
Ungleben Laden Loden.
Let's talk
It's
about
also
something.
the beginning of that Offspring song.
Oh yeah.
That's
Keep
what I was
separated.
thinking of when you kept saying that. Yeah, Offspring.
I
So
still
what's
have mine.
it? You make it sound like this robot thing is like a big deal.
Yeah, I want to talk about something nice.
Nicey
Sounds
and
like-
spicy.
Nicey, I think about that bitch from 90 Day Fiance from Brazil. That's how she'd say it. Nicey. That was pretty fly for a white guy. Thank you, DKO. Star pastry, Danish cream. Danish cream, that's a good one.
Danish Scream, do it.
But there's been a lot of controversy on the tweet zone this week because third-party company, it was at FireBird.
Big Firebird.
Big
Big
FireBird.
Firebird. Yeah.
So they released some new shots of their figure, Nicee, and yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about this, and there's a lot of people.
I don't know if I'd say a lot of people. I'd say a vocal minority, but that's just me.
Yeah.
True. And it's
They want to make
mainly
us
on
feel
Twitter.
bad.
I really haven't seen too much hate on like Facebook and stuff like that.
No, the Facebook
on-
posts tend to be more like positive about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Unless they're calling me a nerd.
well, it's one thing I've
not
learned.
calling me a nerd
Throw
at the
those
same
pictures
time.
up, will ya?
I'm
Yeah.
pulling them up. Well, what's crazy about this is Gawker Media, love them or hate them. I tend to fall into the latter. But their Jalopnik site actually picked up this story, which makes it even crazier. You know, this is a site that, if I'm, not mistaken, is about cars.
What
And-
is that
Car
website? I gotta
boobs.
pull it up.
It's Jalopnik. I'm gonna do a
Wait.
present to everyone.
Wait, isn't like a '67 Chevy called a penis car though? If somebody's driving, like you know what I'm saying, like a oversized, sports car because they're compensating.
All the Batmobiles from the Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that one real quick. It's like they're talking about that, and I can. By the way, ladies, I do drive a hatchback, just so you know.
Like
you
a
did have that
hunchback
big
and
ass
a
truck
hatchback.
though.
Yeah, he had a truck for a minute.
Canonero. How many animals did you kill?
So
So-
RC's hit some controversy lately. I mean, there was the add-on kit for fans' toys, and that, in my opinion, it's like there's that, you know, that's not in the best taste. I viewed it as a joke.
Yeah, that was gag gift territory
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
Does
something.
Yeah.
anyone of us own that yet?
No, but when you
No,
put your
Joe's
when you
got
start,
one order.
It's kind of stupid.
That was the toy versions of a Spencer's gift.
yes,
Pretty much.
exactly. It's a toy version of a Spencer's gift, and it's something that we give to T, so he finally starts putting his reviews on Pornhub.
I could
Like,
I love
technically
you.
just do that with this.
So, you know, with this figure, it's got anime girl proportions. It's for people that like that sort of thing, and I'm not a big collector of anime girls. I
But-
you know, well, but
Oh my God! They
closest,
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry.
I didn't see what happened there.
No, they even referenced the tweet from that douchebag that said, please remake men with better
Grant
writers.
Thompson, yeah, 6.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is a trash
and
website.
then saying that this is what's Gawker, and then saying this is the better RC, yada yada yada. There are a lot of people that are upset about this. This is what gets me when they're like, I'm waiting for them to apply this aesthetic to the boys. So
Didn't they ever see the Energon Constructicons?
yeah. So what gets me is, you know, I collect a lot of various lines. Transformers are my focus. This is the perfect effect, and one of the reasons why this RC is aesthetically pleasing to me is because it reminds me of the perfect effect figures. This figure has movable pectorals on ball joints. He has 8-pack
And
abs.
8-packs.
He has a bulging crotch, large quads. He has an ass, robo ass, biceps. It's called beast muscle. That was the line that Perfect Effect came out with. So it's already been done, and I'm serious. It has a bulging crotch. Boy, I can
by the
see.
way,
And none of those things are bad things. I have
No.
all of them.
Need I say
Yeah.
more? Need I say more?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Where's
look at
that guy with the Shockwave picture? Send him one of these. He'll be happy.
Yeah.
Shockwave
Look
has
at
a
it.
manly
Look
body.
at it. Look
That
at
Shockwave
it.
they showed as a manly buff body with the
Sport of
wide
his
chest.
race, he's also floppy. I think referring to Joe.
Hey George, can you bring the picture back up?
Yeah, I'll share back out.
So let's step back for a second. Once he brings the picture back up, here she is. Everybody take a look at this and look at it objectively from remove the offending part, right? At least from these pictures. I know there's more hidden just underneath, but remove the chest.
It's more than meets the
And
eye.
just look at the design aesthetics of the thing as a whole. What if the chest wasn't a part of this? How do you feel about the aesthetic nod that the artist was going for in the mold for this thing?
I think it looks just like what she looks like. She's wearing a bikini. She's supposed to be Princess Leia from
He's kind of like
Star
a
Wars.
hybrid of Princess Leia and Slave Leia.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
Slave
just
Leia,
like
that's what she's
I mean-
supposed to be.
Yeah.
like the
She
approach that they're
definitely-
taking with the backpack, the rest of it. Like, I think it looks like a really fucking sweet and slick RC.
Yes.
It looks
Yeah, I
like
think
it's
it
a
looks
thing
like
that's
a-
built for speed. You know,
And, it's,
like
and
that's-
it's no matter what, it's very anime inspired, whether it's got big
Yeah.
tits or not. It's very anime girl
right.
inspired.
I mean, the
looks like
face
something
is
go
off,
to
the
Bikini
head
would
is
do.
dead. Yeah, that's a good point. This is very much be a Kotobukiya. I mean, this is not all that different than what a statue that
Yeah.
could be made. Then this thing actually has engineering to it, supposedly. I
Mhm.
mean, we know it
Yeah.
transforms. We don't know how well yet, but looking at the alt mode pictures, it does have a legit alt mode.
It looks like a super feminine Gundam.
And
Well-
so
with all those
Sportimus
wings hanging
says
off.
she's a freaking robot. Don't pervert it into a sex bot. But that's the thing that a lot of the people that are objecting to this have this assumption on Twitter, is that they think that we, as the collectors, the people that are going to buy this thing, they just can't wait to get it because they just want to put it on their shelf and they want to crank off to it all night long. That's not. Yeah, is there people that do that? Sure, but there's also people that jerk off to all kinds of crazy shit. This wouldn't be all that extreme to those folks. But the 99% of us that are going to order something like this, it's because it's a genre that I grew up with, or two genres, really, a blending of two genres that I grew up with, of a what if G1 Transformers was made in the Japanese anime in the heyday, because now Japanese anime is really kind of starting to shift away from this a little bit. But this to me is like like Sword Art Online combined with Transformers, and this is what you'd get.
Or your what is it? Space Battleship Yamato 21 something.
Yeah, exactly.
So what gets me is it's like the same people that have a problem with this are the ones that say don't kink shame others. Yet, like as you said, Joe, it's not like we're gonna jerk off to this. It's all the incel. I saw all the incel.
2099. Thank you.
I saw all the incel insults get hurled at people, and I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, wait a minute, these are people that I know who have significant others. Some have children, and families, and we're homeowners, and I'm like, it's crazy to assume that the people that are buying this are guys living in their parents' basement jerking off.
Right, the same folks that don't want to that want people to be open and accepting, and that don't want to put people in a box immediately right. Put a box around people that like this thing.
The irony of it all is, and I'm not going to get political, but I'm going to say the irony of it all is the people that were hurling those insults were the people that list their pronouns in their profiles and live with their parents, and I find that highly amusing.
Yeah, and the one thing that really, really pisses me off is when the men, which is like Sporter says, it's not for him. That's the perfect approach. I don't find it offensive. It's just not for me. No problem with that. Whatever. Everyone has different tastes. We're not saying that everyone has to like this thing.
Right.
But what I can't stand is what doesn't matter what topic it is, when a man says, "Oh, I'm just so ashamed to be a man, and we need to rewrite my gender because we're just so horrible." And they're virtue signaling. They're trying to get applause.
If Pro Jared,
on Twitter for sympathizing with the feminist agenda or whatever it may be, and they're then in the same freaking tweet, you search down through their Twitter thread, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't really know much about Transformers."
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck are you commenting on it for? Fuck off.
If Pro Jared taught us anything, the people that do that sort of stuff, they're trying to atone for their own sins.
Yeah.
They're going on there. Go ahead, T.
When they talking about how bad men are, I'm pretty sure there are several females that saw that toy and they can't wait to pre-order it themselves.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost Dave.
Well,
yeah.
Me personally, I think is he trying to call? Because I keep getting notifications on my watch.
Yeah, just add him back in.
But I think that figure looks super detailed and super awesome with the stuff hanging off, and I can't wait to own it.
But here's the thing too: is we don't know what this is a new company, so to speak. That we assume we don't know the quality of it. It could be a shitty figure with shitty engineering, and that changes the discussion at least from an engineering standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something but just like we always do with all these third-party reveals, we have to go based on the information that we've got and the pictures that we've got. And if it's for you, you buy the fucking thing. If it's not for you, someone else can buy it without being a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what'll give a big giveaway is if they come out with the EX02, and it's if it's female character after female character after female character, then okay, we know what they're going for. Which there's still nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you something. Sexuality is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with appreciating it at all.
Let me
And if they
jump
come
in
out
on
with
that
an
one.
02
Let me
and
jump
an
in on that
03,
one.
Personally,
Yeah.
I would like them to do male characters as well. Do Optimus Prime in a hyper anime style. That would be freaking awesome.
I'm
Well,
saying,
actually, so let me
Go ahead, Dave.
go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. I did two things. I had a discussion about this with my wife, showed her the stuff, and she said if people are getting worked up over that, then they should never go near the mall ever again. Don't walk past Victoria's Secret. Don't turn on the Victoria's Secret fashion show. You know, because guess what? That kind of look is actually still accepted everywhere right now.
Stop watching porn.
The other thing is, see, for me, this is gonna sound weird, but you know, like that stylized look. I do the photography. The first thing that came to my mind actually reminded me was Boris Vallejo's art. If you're not familiar with him, he did a lot of the sword and sorcery covers,
Frank
like a lot of those
Frazetta.
pictures of Conan, Red Sonja.
Oh yeah.
And this is almost like the robotic version of that. And that style of art's been around since the 70s. I mean,
But then
Golden
people are getting
Axe.
their hangups when you say robotic. Like, and the number one thing people are saying is like, well, why does a robot need boobs? Well, why does a robot need a fucking mouth?
Right, or a
None of
tongue,
them do.
or
Ask
teeth,
Wheeljack.
or 5
Ask
fingers.
Wheeljack and Soundwave.
Yeah.
They don't need
Yeah.
mouths, but yet
Yeah.
Starscream and the rest of them have it. They're not eating anything except
Right.
that one episode where they got drunk, but they're not
Like-
eating anything.
Like they're,
and I
they're,
want,
they're
as I
based
said,
off
I do want this figure because I think the damn thing will photograph beautifully. I'm already looking at it. I'm looking at my Snoke throne. It'll look cool, like in a weird pose in front of that. And like
When you
Joe
bring
just said,
up-
he wants.
You bring up the Victoria's Secret and like the what's the Miss America, okay? When
Yeah.
people tune into these like Miss America, all right, yeah, is there some people at home, you know, pleasuring themselves to it? Sure, right? But most people are like, okay, these are beautiful women. We just want to we want to admire the beauty, right? There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But
I think they're changing
there's
that.
people
too,
out
to be
there
honest.
that, well, it's because there's people out there that are offended by it because they can't obtain that look. They're either jealous because they can't obtain the look, you know, whether they're too lazy to do it or
and they
whatever.
want
They're
acceptance.
yeah, or whatever, and they want acceptance for it. So they want to shame that look, and they want their frumpy look to be like the, you know, what that's what beauty is. And that beauty is like it's when they say it's like an eye.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, you know, it's
I just
different.
mentioned
It's for everybody.
I just mentioned Conan the Barbarian. Okay, I am not going
Right.
to shame Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I know I will never look like him. All
and
right.
Joe, let me put a quick asterisk to that. Is that if you like the way you look and you're happy with yourself, then you are fucking winning. Like you
Yes.
are on top of things.
Yeah.
If you are fat and love it, if you are skinny as hell and love it, if you are sickly and can't get out of bed and love it, then you win, right? I mean, if you're happy with yourself, that's great. But if this sort of thing, you know, rattles you, I don't know. There's bigger things.
There's a reason why.
Standard too, right?
I'm gonna mess if I mess with the figure. Avoid messing with figures because they'll never attain their shape.
Right.
Need I say
Perfect
more?
example.
Need I say more?
Exactly.
like here, like T brought up a good point with actually was it Joe or T that talked about Age of Extinction?
Joe.
Yeah. So like this Optimus Prime, they made him big and beefy, He-Man proportions. I'm not insecure about my physique, but I like He-Man proportions. I like things that look heroic. I like things that have physique because it shows strength, and that goes for the female form as well. So this RC, it's a very shapely, athletic-looking body, and yeah, it has assets. But you know why men like big hips and big boobs? It's because that's wired into us.
It's wired into our DNA, and there's a
Right.
reason why, whether it's men or women, when
Yeah.
they see a ripped dude, right? You say to yourself, "Man, I'm going to go to the gym. I want to look like that." There's a reason why you want to look like that. It's not just because, I want to admire myself in the mirror and look like that. No, you want to attract the opposite sex. That's like.
Well, not only that, but you want to be an alpha. You want to be a pack leader. Be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's like the whole progression of our entire species is attracting the opposite sex and reproducing. That's the whole point of life. Otherwise, I got news for you. If we stop doing that, we're going to run out of humans really quick.
I find it funny that all the white knights in there were going after chicks that claim to be asexual or used to be dudes.
I didn't realize that one chick I was arguing with was actually a trans. I thought the trans in her name was that she was a Transformers fan.
Truly more than meets the eye.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often, actually, to tell you the truth.
The moral of the story is...
Be glad somewhere out there, some single guy is finding that gimmick.
Oh, boy.
This, like everything else, falls into the same category. Like, do you want it? Buy it. Do you not want it? Don't buy it. It's like Joe said, if they come... Yeah, like Joe said, if they come out with an 02 and an 03, you know why? It's because they made money the first time around and they like money. And
I would be kind of cool as a Sailor Moon squad. You know that?
Yeah, I'd be really interested to get the numbers. Like Show Z put up their pre-order, today? They don't even have pricing yet, but they put their pre-order up already for $3. I bet you they pre-ordered plenty of those things in one day. I would love to reach out to them and say, hey, how many pre-orders do you have in your system right now?
And Show Z put the best thing in that product description.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
You know what? I'm not even going to spoil it. If you have not seen it, go to Show Z and look at the product dimensions where it talks about the height and the weight and just keep reading down. I have to applaud them. I almost wanted to buy it just for that.
You know what though? People are lazy. I'll read it to them because they're not going to go. They're not going to go look. It says, "Damn, just damn, you guys will have a hard time explaining this purchase to your wife. Seriously."
Well, any of us though, because like Dave, you mentioned that you talked to your wife about it. Joe,
yeah, she wasn't threatened by it.
Did you talk to Alicia about it?
I did, and you know what? When I said, I've been a Twitter warrior all day today, and I didn't get anything done at work because of it, and she said, "Why?" I said, "Because they made a Transformer with boobs," and she was like, "And people care about that? Why?" Yeah. Like her whole thing, and I showed her a picture of it. Yeah. So what?
And you know what?
I was going to say, the best thing about this news story or about all this is tomorrow or 2 days from now, nobody's going to remember. And that's how the internet works.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife said it best. There is much more important things that women should be worried about right now. I'm not going to go into the details, but there's much more crazier things happening right now than a robot with boobs.
Absolutely. I talked to Lex about it, and, she's basically more or less, why do people care? Why is that a big deal? Why, why?
Because it's in their face at the moment.
Yeah.
Just like everything else on Facebook and Twitter. They all complain about it because it's in their face for that day. And then it goes
I brought
away.
up Leonidas, and she laughed, and she's like, "You own a robot that has a bulge." Like, you bought that.
If you own any Mezco, all of them have a.
Yeah, they do. I'm so offended. Yeah, I'm offended by that Batman bulge.
TBL is coming out with their male figure. They just put the pre-orders up for that.
Yeah, so
yeah.
And then the point, like
they
I
come with
my
three
wife,
penises, don't they?
Go ahead, Matt.
Detachable penis.
With Katie about
I understood that reference.
And while she brought up the fact that like this is in essence a kid's property, that it's Transformers, I'm like, but that also, like, my basement is full of adult versions of kids' properties.
Mm-hmm.
That this property literally grew up with us, and now the 30 and 40-year-olds want more adult. It's the same thing. It's like a $300 figure, a $400 Optimus Prime MP44 is not aimed at kids, just like this thing is not aimed at kids. You're not going to find this thing on Target shelves. You're not going to find this thing next to the Thomas the Tank stuff.
Isn't that Playarts Kai's entire business model?
Oh yeah, I was looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Look.
Exactly.
Come here, bitch.
Well, not to mention too that in the Asian markets, this is just sexuality is normalized and it's part of designs, and people don't.
Right,
bat
we're
an
the
eye.
ones that we're so friggin'
And
like.
Sportimus,
There is a reason that this line here sold as well as it did, because they took the DC heroines and they said, "Hey, what if these were a anime aesthetic?" Right? They did. I got Supergirl, Batgirl, and Wonder Woman.
You know what that head sculpt makes me think of, though?
Who? What? Let me see. Hold on. I don't know. What's it make you think of? I don't understand that reference. You're playing
I
music
don't
right
understand
now.
that reference.
God damn, the crying game.
I do me.
No, wrong movie.
A movie I
Oh,
have
sorry.
not seen, actually. One of the few.
I haven't seen it
You've
either. I
never
was
seen,
too
you've
young
never
to
seen
care.
Ace Ventura?
Well, Ace Ventura I've seen.
I've always heard references of it, but I was too young to care when it came out.
Oh, man, I'm well versed for my age, I'll tell you.
You know what? Whatever gets you off, man.
What doesn't get me off?
You know, technically, these aren't really aimed towards kids, but they make them kid safe, but they want us to buy them.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Mhm.
Sportimus said. First off, he mentioned that the fans having monster bots have bulges, and having recently bought those, I'm going to have to go check after the show.
Bulge checker.
I'm going to
Here's
go to
what
all
I
my
like to do
for
pictures.
the chat.
I've got the Figma cassette.
Yeah, there you go. That
Secondly-
she has
secondly,
articulated tits.
She does, and you know the last time I played a Dead or Alive game, I don't even fucking remember. But that's I had this strong connection to
Look.
her and
Hey,
had to
did
get
you-
her.
Did you set your age to 99?
MP10 doesn't even hide his.
Ugh.
You see, this MP10 doesn't even hide his
Right,
crotch.
I
in
know
truck
he's
mode.
got blue balls or blue ball bearings.
Put them.
That was a Dave joke.
I am not. You know what? No, I am not about to do a survey of crotches in my collection right now. I am
Yeah,
not
you are.
doing it.
You
Yeah,
have
you
been
are.
already
Yeah, you
on
are.
it. Sit
I'm
down.
sitting here like
buddy.
looking around here,
You're
and I'm
gonna-
like, "What the hell am I doing?" I'm starting to do a crotch survey.
You're gonna go get your
This one has one too, look.
your calipers and measure
Synthetic
them all.
human.
Look at your model kit Starscream. Here's
Oh,
my
yeah.
Storm. Look at
Yeah,
that.
he does.
There it
Yeah.
is. And mine's mine. I had to paint mine because I had
That's
to
a-
lovingly brushstroke over that thing.
That's offensive.
So I think the consensus is there's a whole lot of hoopla for all the wrong reasons. No one's going to remember it, and until the figure comes out and people start taking and the photographers start going to town on it.
And we'll
Yep.
relive this all over again when people get re-outraged.
I'm gonna do a review, and nobody's gonna make any negative comments in my comments.
You
And
can control that
everything's gonna be
directly.
awesome.
We don't even know. We don't even know anything about the plastic quality, so we don't know if it's going to fall apart in our hands.
Well,
Yeah.
we do know that apparently the boobs are squishy, which I don't understand why they need to be squishy, but
I don't get that either because
Articulation.
And I'm thinking that chest plate comes off for option's sake.
it could, yeah,
I just-
maybe.
Do you
Sort
guys
of like
ever,
this.
do you guys
this
ever
chick.
play? Do you guys ever play Metal Gear, the Phantom Pain?
yes, the quiet.
You talk about
Yeah.
quiet. Yeah.
Specifically Quiet. And there's a great video of Hideo Kojima messing around with the Quiet figure, just showing, and the chest is so squishy.
But yeah, it's kind of again, like I said, in Asian cultures, it's very different.
Yeah, someone
you know?
sent Jobby one of those things.
Well, Jobby's like, he's been like low key thirst in the comments, but I mean, like a lot of people, it's funny, like all these people like hurl around.
Low-key.
Yeah, low key, but on this figure because like I don't think he wanted to insult any of his fan base, but like it's like you guys do realize he's a hentai artist, right?
Yeah.
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 And well, okay. Jobby's
I don't
looking
think
at
he
this
hides
figure, and he is just hearing the dollar bill signs going on in the back of his head, knowing that his fan base is going to die when he reviews this figure. And I have a feeling it's going to be funny as all hell too.
Yeah, so I wait for 2023 when he finally reviews it.
Are you going to send it to him in his PO box?
Yeah.
That's shut down. Don't send anything to his PO box. It's gonna come back.
Night
This
Wingham has a
episode of
question.
Figure Action Podcast is sponsored by the Jobby the Hunk Show.
Night Wingham actually has a question that I'm sure Dave or T can answer. It's unrelated, but how do Marvel Legends scale with DC Universe Classics?
Dave, probably.
Oh,
I don't have any DC Universe Classics.
Yeah, you had Harley Quinn.
I don't have any Marvel Legends.
Oh no, that's I'd say that's one of the multi. You mean the
I had a
multiverse
DC
stuff?
icon.
Multiverse Classic.
They're the same height, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, if you go to go on our Figure Action videos, I actually that's the last video review I ever did was of that Harley Quinn, and I scaled her with a number of them.
There you
and
go.
she does scale well with the Marvel Legends, actually.
But I think
It's actually the last video review I did was of Harley Quinn.
what did he
And
call
Nate
them? I
Simmons
think that's a
says they
specific
scale well.
line.
I said DC Universe Classics, but
You know,
Sportimus
DC
said-
Universe Classics is a line too, though, and I don't have any of that. All I have is an icon. I've got two. I've got one icon. I've got one bombshells, and I've got one multiverse. I don't have
How
many.
did we
DC.
go from Robo Titties to DC Universe Classics?
I was answering a question from the chat.
Oh, I just totally
He
zoned
was
out for a minute. I'm
helping-
like,
He was helping a fellow collector out.
Yeah.
well, that's
And
what we do
Is
here.
that the one with the Michael Keaton Batman that's in GameStop right now?
No. Oh no, because those
we
are
can't
movie
help you.
classics.
Sorry, we failed. We can't.
Because
Help
most of the DC Universe Classics were older Mattel figures, and they have less than stellar articulation, so that's something I wouldn't have bought. I mean, even all the male figures had single jointed elbows and such, so... Sorry, man.
Now back to
You tried.
boobs for Joe.
All right.
She has squishy boobs because that plate comes off, and that's options. We gotta love options. Emgo says that all the time.
Maybe
So I
she
think the
has
moral
a
of the story is
PG-13
everybody
chest
needs
plate.
to calm their tits.
Yeah,
I think that's what we need to really focus on here.
Yeah.
Is just
Yeah.
cool
Calm your
down and
tits.
relax.
because you don't have
It's
to
not
buy it.
for you. It's not exactly. It's not for you. It's
And
not
if-
for you.
If
Ooh,
somebody
speaking of
buys
squishy
it
tits.
and then they put it all the way, if they put that's the only thing they show on their channel after they buy it, then unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
And then
The chains are
resubscribe
overly-
to T-Man 978.
Yes, because he will only show that
He's
figure
gonna have
once
the Trill
or
review.
twice. Or
I have a
three.
question. I have a question for T-Man. If you could help the community out,
Okay.
when you review the big FireBird Nicee, are you going to
Very
compare
nice.
the squishiness of the boobs to the TV boobs? Will you? Is there like a pressure gauge that you can use to put a number to this,
The
or is it just
fathometer.
going to be a fathometer?
I'll tell you if they're soft or rigid.
There you go.
You gotta
And the
use the...
fathometer
yes.
is the Figure Action Podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
it's like when you test your steak, rare, medium, well done.
Oh, I learned that last year. It blew my freaking mind.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Man.
Yeah,
And I know that.
I don't know things.
From squeezing it with a fork.
Can we do a round table of favorite cut of steak?
Ribeye.
Dave?
Yeah.
After I did that prime rib, I can't go back.
All right. T, do you have one?
I don't know the difference.
Oh, okay.
The one that
Meat
somebody
is
buys.
meat.
Just meat.
Cooked meat is meat.
I mean, okay, I cook so many different types. I can take any cut of meat and make it taste any cut of proper butchered cow meat or any other animal that's not a person and make it taste
I can make
good.
it taste good, but I'm just telling you right now, it's like the different cuts. Different cuts have different consistencies, and
I'm a snob.
Maybe we
Don't
are
get me on for
perverts. We can't think of
Little
we can't even say
Philip
a
Mignon,
sentence
huh?
without thinking, without knowing somebody's going to take it the wrong way.
But that's who they're selling the damn thing to. Like, that's why we're here. That's why we're all here with our wallets in our hand.
That's the thing. It's like you vote with your dollar. And at the end of the day, it's either going to be successful or it's not. And if it's successful, then that says that there's an audience for it. And what's wrong with there being an audience for it? I mean, how many women go see Thunder from Down Under? I mean, and we don't Magic Mike, yeah. We don't get offended by that. It's sexualization.
Or go straight to the strip club.
Yeah. As Joe said, there's nothing wrong with having sexuality. There's nothing wrong with things being sexualized, And, it's like this.
Which is why next week, ladies and gentlemen, all nude figure action podcast.
All right. Let's do it right now.
Oh, man.
She'll be filling in for me.
All right.
The camera will be only on her.
I think you hit something though. That's a good point. Is that anymore sexuality is seen as derogatory, as a bad thing? I mean, well, it doesn't make any sense.
That's part of control.
It is.
It's control because they want to. Men didn't want women to have any power, and I have a whole bunch of thoughts that I can't get out right now. So,
but it's like it's without going into it. We'll talk offline. But like without going into it, it's like you look at Mortal Kombat 11, like the dudes are all half naked. Kotal Khan's wearing a loincloth, but now they got like all the women covered up.
And they
I'm
had
not
to
offended
say
by any of that.
Yeah, but then it being there is not a problem. But when the maker of the game comes out and says, "Oh well, it doesn't make any sense for the women to go out there half naked," because
have you seen UFC?
Yeah, exactly. And why are the men still half naked? So you're full of shit when you come out publicly and say something like that. What you're doing is you're trying to get out ahead of something because you're trying to say, "Oh, we're going to go like we've been doing this all this time. We're going to stop making the girls half naked and we're going to cover them up. And look at us. Give us the praise. Please give us attention." And they don't realize how hypocritical they are.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a point of something where it wouldn't have probably been that big a thing if they hadn't mentioned something about it. They didn't have to go out of their way and point it out. That probably would have been a speculation. Hey, did anybody notice the costume change? And then move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it in Marvel Comics that they're doing stuff like how they changed Captain Marvel's uniform and whatnot to be more like an actual padded up uniform. I wouldn't have never paid attention to that if no one ever mentioned it to me.
And it's the whole, like, speaking of Captain Marvel, when you come to the whole like the whole girl power thing, no one has a problem with that if you make a good comic book, movie, TV show, whatever, and you show like Alita, Battle Angel,
I love that
movie. Underworld movies, Aliens. You show a strong female character. Terminator. Exactly. Yeah. You show, but you don't make a big deal about it. Don't advertise it, and don't pander to it. And then we'll say, "Oh shit, that was an awesome character."
And don't say, I'm not going to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
That's the thing. When you make something for a general audience, it's going to resonate with people. When you make something for a fringe audience, you're going to lose out the general audience. You can't force people. Nate says Ghost in the Shell is another good example.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't force people, that's the thing is everybody's saying, we need to have representation, but it's like why do we want to have representation? So people have things to relate to. You got to say, there's something that a general audience relates to, right? What unifies humans as humans?
Yep. And you can't make them people happy because now, like, it's been several weeks, so we can talk about Endgame spoilers, which I don't think we ever really did talk about. People were pissed off because Black Widow sacrificed herself and they killed off Black Widow. She did something that normally in any other movie, usually, a man does.
Yeah. And
she did that. She had the fortitude and the strength of character to take that sacrifice. Right. Well,
she
and
knew
they
about
still
Clint
got
and his
pissed
daughters.
off.
Yeah. And that's the thing is what's more important, this woman that's like lives haunted by her sins, that, has trouble every day dealing with that,
I was gonna say that's
versus-
since the first movie. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
red on my ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, stupid phone.
and yeah, it made sense that she would be the one to sacrifice herself because Bruce would be fine without her. He'd be upset, but he'd be fine. He'd go on. He'd find something else.
That
The
park
Clinch
bench wasn't
family would
okay.
have came back without him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. There's a lot more on the line in bringing his family back.
Well,
And-
you talk about people. Okay, we mentioned it a little earlier. Kind of a nice segue. We have the new Terminator trailer today.
Mhm.
Like it or hate it, but at the same time, I saw so many people saying that this is going to be a social justice warrior's wet dream. It's like, listen, James Cameron was the first guy to truly make the female badass. This is in some ways the guy who spearheaded that whole movement.
I guess
talk
with
about
Aliens, but I mean, I
talk
thought
about
Aliens.
we talk about Ripley, but the first movie was Ripley running. Hate to say it, running scared and being brave through it all. Aliens was her locking and loading and
That's a
taking
good point.
Mhm.
and
Just like Sarah
Stay away
Connor in
from
the
her, you
second
bitch.
movie, she was tougher.
Yeah.
Well, even
Same thing with
that was the whole
Terminator.
idea.
Yeah, same thing.
Exactly.
Same
So-
formula.
So all of a sudden, yes, we got Sarah Connor coming out, open up with an M60. It's like this is the guy who created that badass girl, and this is the original badass girl doing what she was supposed to do. This isn't some SJW stuff. This is.
I think it's it's bad when you say like a movie is for one group of people and not everybody. I think the point of entertainment is it should be designed to be consumed by all. If you have something you want to say in it, make it digestible. But that was the beautiful thing about Terminator 2 is Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time, and the reason it's my favorite movie of all time is because it has so much going on, but it all ties together, and there's literally something in that movie for everyone.
Kids.
Yeah, this is the story of a boy trying to find his place in the world. He doesn't really know. He doesn't have a father figure. He finds it in the Terminator. He's trying to make a connection with his mother. His mother is trying to save the world. The Terminator is trying to figure out its place in the world. There's so many plot
And
threads.
Robert Patrick's running around looking awesome.
Yes.
And people who want to see action and shooting.
Great action that
And
ties
death.
it all together.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie now. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that so far though from the trailer that we got today, it doesn't have that feel. Like I would have appreciated it if they would have stuck with more practical effects and give it that gritty and almost like this more simple. T2. Granted, it was back in the day, but it was even though it was like the fate of the world. Yeah, it was lived in and it was smaller in scale. It was like keep it simple, stupid. And now it's like okay, they got CGI jets crashing into each other because they have to escalate. I would have rather them dialed it back and kept it like it was a true.
What's great about
Actually, my biggest problem with that trailer was just showing the Terminator doing its cool ass splitting thing in about less than a minute into it. That should have been like the hook thing at the end of it, like splitting into two.
What I love about practical effects is that you get up close and personal with things, and it's kind of like it's like you're getting grabbed by the threat. And then when they scale back and they show like in this case they show the new Terminator splitting into I guess it's a liquid and like Dave said, it takes away from the spectacle of it. Honestly, if the trailer was Sarah Connor and a narrative and she comes in and starts shooting at something, I would have been far more hyped than getting a scene from the movie, no context to who any of the characters are or their importance.
Mm-hmm. They could have showed Sarah Connor sitting on a table carving with a knife,
Fate.
and then they should have called the movie No Fate. And then getting up, picking up her gun, and walking off, and like she's going into battle, and that could have been it. 30 seconds, and I'm sold.
I tell you, like
they blew away their. I just think they blew away too many gimmicks in that from this trailer.
Don't watch the next trailer.
The Picard trailer today, though. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, I did.
See, that's the trailer. That was a perfect trailer.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You show like, okay, this was his life after Enterprise or after Next Generation. and like, there's a little bit of a narrative, and they say, how much time has passed. And
I want a bottle of his wine.
I do. I want that. If they don't market that shit, Chateau Picard.
Yeah. Like that is how you do a teaser. It's like they didn't show anything other than like Picard being interrogated or interviewed. It's intriguing. It makes me want to see the series, and I hope that
The most
good.
intriguing part of that, honestly, was when she said it's been 15 years since you led the biggest rescue armada in all. Like, I want to know what the hell that was, because they're referencing something that didn't happen in Next Gen.
Yeah.
When was their last movie?
The one with the healing planet. The one with the healing planet, I think.
Would
No,
been
Nemesis.
like 99,
Nemesis.
98.
I think they had one after 2000.
It was Nemesis. Nemesis was the last one.
It's worth
'Cause
a
that's
Google.
when that's the one when Data bit it, when they killed off Data.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Spoilers.
No.
2002.
I had to watch that.
Yeah,
2002. Yeah.
So that would be 15 years.
That's actually a fun movie to watch if you like actors before they broke, because that movie, the clone of Picard, was actually played by a young Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm. That was a good casting.
Data. Well, now I'm a cry when I watched that.
Wasn't the best written movie, but
Data was the only reason why I watched the show.
Data's my hero, man.
You're saying that because he banged Tasha Yar.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that too. That's the main thing I remembered from that show. I just now watched
fully functional.
I watched the beginning of the second episode ever, and it starts off with an off-screen orgy. I was like, holy moly. They can get away with a lot back in the day in syndication.
This is the one with the spaceships, not Star Wars, right?
Did you ever see where Picard, like the original test shots for him, like they had a wig on him?
Oh God, Jesus!
But it always got me, like when people were like, Patrick Stewart has not aged, and I'm like, just because he's been bald.
Yeah, if you watch that trailer today, he's aged. He look old.
You know who doesn't
the only one
age?
that is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Well, him and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is not. He's 50. He's 50.
He's 50?
Yeah, he's freaking. He's amazing looking.
I want to look like that when I'm 50.
Looks better. He looks better at 50 than he did when he was in Clueless, and he was probably in his 20s.
I think they should take Paul Rudd, put breasts on him, and an alt mode car, and they would still.
Yeah,
you would get
I'd do them.
Yeah.
I want some of that Paul Rudd DNA. Just they need to market that shit. I'd inject that intravenously, man.
That could have gone real bad.
Really bad. Yes.
I mean, I'd inject it either way, one way or another.
There it was.
Jordan, tell me you're gonna meme that.
I'm gonna have to.
Yes.
It's audio. He doesn't meme audio. He only memes pictures.
I'm still going to take Paul Rudd's DNA. And put it in a Joe Craft
I actually
scenario.
had a point that I wanted to go with this, and I completely lost it now. Great.
Well, was there any other topics?
Well, I think that's about it. I mean, we did want to. I think we can shelve the accessories and how much we're willing to pay for them discussion.
Yeah, 0. Extra 0 is how much I'm willing to pay for accessories. I'll make my own fucking accessories right there, some bitch.
Because we are working on getting a guest on the show who is an accessory maker, and I'd like to have that.
As Joe endears himself to him.
I've, as I said, I've bought a few. I've bought a few third-party accessories. As I said, I was a very big patron for the Dr. Wu stuff. Here's one of the Rainmaker gun, which I absolutely loved. There's a
Dr. Wu
Gatling
just
gun.
solicited some new stuff. I thought he was done, but there's a new solicitation. I don't remember at all what it was, but go do your own research.
What I also liked with the Dr. Wu stuff though is it actually looked really good. Looks really good with Marvel Legends.
I got some non-if Legends class guns for $10, I think.
But I will say I've been buying more of my third-party accessories for my Legends than I have been for my Chugs and Transformer stuff as of late. So,
Well, Twitter has suggested that I
was subtle.
buy some accessories, so maybe I'll order some of those and I'll show them off in my haul next week.
Very cool.
Does that wrap it? Are we?
I'm gonna say that's gonna wrap our show. So again, everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat tonight, thank you very much.
Wrap it up, B.
Can I give a shout out to a couple of guys in the chat? Because like last week we did miss the episode, but I did catch a lot of the hardcore fans there, and I just want to say it was really cool seeing you guys there. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry we missed you last week, but thank you for being there.
Did we see Kevin down there?
Kevin was in the show tonight.
He was there.
Yeah, so he also had no kind words for Jobby. Fuck Jobby.
He did.
He probably thinks we're all freaks.
Probably, but we kind of are.
We are,
Yeah,
and I'm
we are.
okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm a freak.
that's crazy.
Whether you like robotic titties or you're a serial killer, we like to include all the groups into this.
For something.
Not that any of the members of this show is a serial killer. We're just, we're trying to include all the groups here. We don't want to
I'm staying in my own room for TFCon. Thank you very much. Now.
No, we're getting one room, and it's gonna have one king size bed.
Yeah, it's only
2 cups.
Farmer. That's where his name came from.
And horror DNA all over.
Oh yeah.
On that note,
where can we find you, True Star Streamer?
End it now.
Matt, where can we find you?
No one cares.
Right here. This is the place. Don't worry about anything else. I'm here. Y'all ain't looking for me. I'm here.
Joe, where can we find you?
Same. No one's looking for me. Don't find me on Twitter. I might
didn't even know
offend
you had a Twitter. That's why I was surprised when you said you tweeted it. I'm like, how? He doesn't.
Apparently, I had a Twitter, and the only reason I realized I had a Twitter is because when you guys posted those pictures, I went to Twitter and I was like, holy shit, I'm logged in already. Apparently, at one point in time, I tweeted some shit at Elon Musk, and that motherfucker never tweeted me back. So that's probably why I never used it, because I probably got a little discouraged. It's all Elon's fault.
I like Kevin's response. He says, "Nah, y'all not freaks, but fuck." Anyway, you can find me here every Thursday night with these fine gentlemen at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Pacific Time. You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. You can find me on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live as Extra Zero. And on the Oculus Rift, you can find me as, I don't know my Facebook handle.
Oh, you have a separate thing for Oculus Rift? I thought you just connected that to your Xbox or something.
You could.
No.
Can you do me a favor? And I want you to get a video of this. Put the Oculus Rift on, right? And put just like some random porno on your TV and let it play. And just put the Oculus Rift on and get like some kind of doll or something, or just pretend like you're jerking it and have Alexa walk into the room and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's a little elaborate.
No, I've seen...
Joe says, here's this one thing I want you to do.
I've seen that. I've seen people do that on YouTube. There's a whole I don't know if you've seen like the Instagram of Hold My Beer. There's a whole like compilation of people freaking out their girlfriends by using the virtual reality and making them think that they're watching porn on virtual reality.
Jordan was pulling a Sully. This bird was going for a crash. He was pulling us in. He was going to give us in for a safe landing. Man, you freaking came in and you just knocked Sully's ass out. Thanks, man.
I came in. I launched a fucking rocket propelled grenade at that sumbitch. It ain't landing safety. It's down. I killed it.
T-Man, you can tell us where we can find you.
And, you can find me here.
Oh, you know what you should do, T-Man? Right. You should totally go on Pornhub.
Oh God, I tried. I really tried. I tried.
I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna shut up now.
Turn it off. Whoever got the button.
He's not paying attention. I think he fell asleep.
No, I'm here.
He's finding the clips to use.
Yeah, he is.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you next Thursday.